Hey everybody, back to another video with Queen Cheyenne. Today I'm here with my husband, woo woo, and I need him. I asked him to do an interview for me where I asked him some questions on how he feels, because we have great conversations throughout the week, and then I'm like, yo, we need to record these conversations so that people can hear how we talk to each other. So I think our conversations are great, but I want to just go in first and say that I am fully covered in the name of Jesus. Since I moved in with my husband, we were actually just talking about this today. He stated, his words, not mine, that I have been covering my head more since I moved in with him. So he said that I became a little bit more submissive in that category. And I was like, woo woo, I noticed that way back, but he just noticed it. So
I'm gonna add 2 cents to that. We had 2 places before because we were living separately when we met. And then when we got married, we pretty much just would spend, half the week at her place and half the week at my place. And then eventually she got so comfortable that she wanted to move here, which of course I was fine with, wanted to live full time here, save money. And as a result, the way I look at it is, I'm working on my role, being a husband. As an Israelite, we're providers and protectors, and priest, provider, protector. So as I work on myself and fulfilling my role more fully, taking that burden off of her of having to worry about money when it comes to a place to live. So you don't have to think about that anymore. And that's why just today we was talking and I thought about that. I was like, you know what? The time that you decided, because I'm very, I try to be patient. I'm not gonna say I'm very patient, but when it comes to her covering her head, that was the standard from the very beginning. But I'm not it wasn't like I was like, you need to start covering your head immediately, or you need to start, you got 2 weeks or you got a month or whatever. It's just like, let her grow into it. So she's grown into it over time, and then now I notice, I'm like, oh, you've been covering your head every day for recently.
So, the thing with covering my head, it came as a shock to me, because I think I stated this in one of my previous videos, but I love my hair. I like to do my hair. I like to show my hair off. My hair, I like the way it frames my face. Women, we love our hair. Well, coming from my husband explaining it to me is that your hair is beauty, so it enhances your beauty already that you have. But the Bible in the Old Testament, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be wrong, but from my understanding is the Bible, I don't know if it tells women to cover their head, but in the Torah, women had their heads covered. And since we are Torah observant, which is the Old Testament, we women cover our heads. Is that correct?
Yeah, so it's pretty much like, if you look at it closely, what Hebrews, Israelites did, the women were covered. It's a sign of submission and authority, and then it actually goes into detail in the New Testament about women having their hair covered, and Paul explains it in detail.
So it took me a long time. Thanks for the clarification, but it took me a long time because, like I said, I like my hair, and so I would try out different head wraps and try out different styles, and then I wouldn't like some of them, and I would throw the head wrap down, this is not working out, and then I wouldn't revisit it until the next Shabbat, because I was wearing them only on Shabbat at one time. And then sometimes I wasn't even wearing it then, but he was really serious about me wearing it on Shabbat, so he'd make me go put one on, obviously. But now I'm just I think I just had a realization, I'm gonna cover myself, because I don't really care about I stopped wearing makeup, I stopped getting my nails done. I mean, I still keep them clean, obviously, but I don't really care about that anymore. I just want to be for my husband and for the Lord. So anyways, that is that. I wanted to do this interview because I said, we have really great discussions, and I'm pause here. So I got my notebook of stuff that I want to ask you.
Once again, as is par for the course here, I do not get to know anything that she's going to ask me in advance, because she wants it to be more live in effect,
surprise.
Real. She wants real responses, not calculated responses. So
right.
she won't put me on the spot in a moment.
All
which
right.
is cool.
So we're going to talk about, I know I said on my last video that we were going to talk about submission, and that is actually what my first question is about here, submission. And I would like to ask you this question, sir. Do you feel like women have to submit to somebody? Anybody? Can a woman be out here, and let me just clarify the question. Can she be out here and just be a regular woman out here in the world doing her independent? Is that something that you feel is natural, normal, or do you advise against women being independent? Do you feel like she has to submit to somebody, whether it's her daddy or her boyfriend, or if she's not, or her husband? Who do you think, like, do you feel like she has to submit to someone?
Yes, but let's start with choice. I think that women have all the rights and ability to choose to live however they want to. If they don't want to be under the submission of any man, for the most part, in their private life, they can achieve that. But if a woman decides that she want to be independent and she want to be a modern woman, she gonna submit to her boss no matter what she say. Then that's kind of the contradiction. Like, the type of woman that refuse to submit to a man, she gonna submit to that supervisor though. She gonna submit to that company head though, because she don't want to get fired. But she feel like she can't do that in her private life. So privately, they can choose. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but like the supervisor could be a woman.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is just null and void. Next.
But that's
just playing.
But that's still submission though. Like, she's under authority. So in this case, yeah, it could be under authority to a woman. Like,
okay.
But she is going to submit to somebody. She gonna be under authority to somebody. Now, again, they get to choose. Like, I think every woman should have the right to choose how she want to live her life. There's no force. She do what she want to do. But as far as like a biblical woman, biblical wife, traditional woman, trad wives, which is liberals hate that.
What does that mean? I've never heard that. Trad
wives, traditional wives. It's becoming like a thing. I don't even have TikTok, but I watch enough YouTube to see when trends happen. So anyway, if a woman gonna be a traditional wife in the biblical sense, then she has to submit to her husband.
Why are you moving so much? Chill out.
No, I'm just doing my little.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
But yeah, like, if she actually wants to be under biblical order, which is headship, authority, and submission, family structure, Yah the Father, Jesus the Son, the husband, the wife, the children. If she want to actually live in that framework, then yeah, she does have to submit. Prior to that, she submitted to her father. Again, this is biblical structure, so this doesn't apply to the people in the world. This don't apply to heathens. This apply to people who actually care about Jesus and care about the scripture.
So do you feel like the better woman is one, and correct me, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. Well, actually I am putting you on the spot. Do you feel like the better woman is one who submits to someone, or the one who is independent? Because I know men say, I want a strong independent woman.
I don't know no men that say that.
I mean, I don't know every man in the world to give you an example of who said that. I just know rappers say it in their songs. She a strong, independent woman. They kind of lift that up to the community.
They do.
I mean, why would they say that if they... I mean, are you promoting a strong, independent woman because you want one? Or what exactly is going on there? Do you feel that... So you're saying no one wants a strong, independent woman?
No.
Okay.
No one, because a strong man, I damn sure don't. A strong man does not want a strong, independent woman, because a strong, independent woman want to be in charge. She want to lead, and you can't have two heads, because then you have a two-headed monster. But yeah, they promote that. But okay, who is they married to? Who they with? Who's their girlfriend?
I know strong, independent women.
No, I'm talking about the rappers right now. I'm talking about the people, the MCs that promote the idea of a strong, independent woman and how attractive that is, and that's what they want. Are they with a strong, independent woman? If they are, they're consistent, hats off to them. Hope they have a great life and family life. But I do not think that that works in when it comes to like biblical headship. It's incompatible. Like, it's just incompatible. There's nothing wrong with a woman being strong, but once you start adding independent and all the rest of that shit, like, it basically is like, I don't need no man. I'm gonna do what I want. I can do what I want. I can take care of myself. And a wife, a traditional wife, a biblical wife, she understands that she's submitted to her husband who is taking care of her. And so she's doing everything that he requires of her as a wife.
And let me just put this on the record. I submit to my husband. I'm just going to tell you this now. I can take care of myself, but I don't want to take care of myself. I don't want to do that. I've did that for years and years and years. And I'm like, please, will somebody come and take care of me? And so I'm happy that he came along in my life to actually fill those shoes. And therefore, because he's done that, I'm working, because, I'm coming up out of my ways, but like, I don't have a problem most of the time submitting. It's a work in progress, and I'm not perfect, but most of the time I am like, fine. So, okay.
Praise y'all.
Thanks for answering that question, sir. So my next question is, women who wear head coverings, do you feel like they're more respectable?
Yes. So women who submit are more desirable. Women who wear hair coverings are more respectable. Submission starts for a woman, it starts with her father as a child, but prior to her getting married. So if this was traditional biblical, just equate those in your mind. If I say traditional, I mean biblical. But a woman is supposed to be under her father's authority while she's in her father's house, and then when she gets married is when she moves under her husband's authority in her husband's house. I do find that women who cover their heads are more respectable. I do also find that in public they will get treated with more respect.
I can actually, what is it? A test?
Yeah.
Is it a test?
Yeah.
Look at me winning. I can attest to that statement because I've experienced it personally. Like, one time when I was like way back out into the world and I was wearing like revealing clothes, like short shorts and like crop tops and J's, because let me tell you, I used to love my J's. Okay, I used to love a crop top with some short shorts and a J's with a nice little sun hat and my shades. Okay, that was my go-to outfit. And my eyeliner, I just used to put eyeliner, a little bit of eyeshadow on, and my big hoop earrings. And I know people say hoop earrings are the 90s, but like, I was really bringing them back, man. I don't think they ever went out of style. But anyways, that was my go-to outfit. And I was in the grocery store, and like, I just like, men would just look at me in such a disrespectful way. And I feel like with head covering, like with my head covering on now, people like move out the way. They'd be like, go first and let me run to hold the door open for you. Have a great day. Like, it's a different type of respect. And I appreciate the head covering. I feel like I wouldn't say the head covering protects me. I think the Lord is protecting me. So anyways,
when it comes to the head coverings and the respectability, it's modesty. What, like, a man that understands head coverings, if he see a woman with her head covered, then you automatically assume that she has a higher level of modesty than the rest of the women. And then also, like, there's men have, if you have a woman that's fully covered, men tend to have more shame as far as like just,
staring,
gawking at a woman. Like, they stare when a woman is covered. They stare because I think, number one, you don't really see that like that. This day and age, you don't see a whole bunch of women that's covered. So they stare in that regard, but they don't look at a woman with her head covered the same as they look at a woman who's uncovered, that has, got everything out, brick house.
Yeah.
They just don't.
And that brings me to, like, I was telling him today, I went on a drive to my job, and there was a guy who, like, I'm fully covered just like this, like I am now. There was a guy who, like, almost got in an accident, turning the corner, looking at me, and I'm like, dude, pay attention to the road. The road is in front of you, not over here. I'm over here waiting for the light to turn green. And I was telling my husband that, like, he was staring at me, not looking at the road, almost ran into the car in front of him. And I told my husband, like, I just lowered my gaze. Like, I am not gonna look this man in the eye. Make him try to feel like I'm interested, or he can stop or pull over and none of that stuff. Because you can't. Because I'm not friendly. I'm just not. But that actually brings me into my next question, sir. So you were talking about men looking at women who are not covered in a different way than they look at women who are covered. And my next question would be, so don't laugh, but obviously men, like, what is your take on twerking? Because obviously men look at women who twerk, and y'all like to see assets shaken and stuff. And so, like, for someone like me, like, I would say, like, I don't have a big giant rump. But, like, if I see, like, my husband, obviously, if there's a woman out there twerking and she's shaking her rump, and I see you looking, because, like, you probably don't have a choice, or you guys just notice rumps shaking. I don't know. I probably noticed it, too. I'm not gonna lie. If you see someone shaking their rump, chances are we saw someone shaking their rump. But it's different for a man. So what is your take on twerking? And do you feel like, would you wife someone up who was just out there in the middle of the street twerking like we've seen before? Or would you, I mean, does that attract you? Or obviously it might attract you. I don't know. It doesn't, if I was a man, I don't think it would attract me. Like, what is your take?
So, I think,
I mean, the reason why I say if I was a man, I don't think it would attract me is because I'm in just, like, a different spot. But I don't know what it feels like to be a man. So I really can't tell you. But I'm just saying I'm in a different place in my life where I'm just like, look at these heathens twerking in the street with no home training. And then I would be, like, disgusted that that's community rump. You know what I'm saying? But that's my take on it. What is your take on it?
I'm going to use a celebrity example for my take. Sierra famously shook her ass as an R&B superstar all throughout her early career. And then she got married to Russell Wilson, somebody who would consider himself to be a respectable Christian. Also a very wealthy man as a NFL quarterback. If somebody's married, I cannot see just, I don't care what her career is. I cannot see just approving of her going out and shaking her ass for the public. Like, I wouldn't want a wife that's dancing like that, even dancing too provocatively, like, for other people to see. That's the biggest thing. It's like, you can dance however you want to, but when it comes to the public gaze, I'm not gonna approve of certain shit. And so I use Sierra as an example. Don't scratch my back.
You're doing so many things at once. Like, I just watched you scratch your leg, scratch your back, scratch your arm, twitch your eye.
But I use Sierra as an example because the stuff that she doing as a wife in the public, that might work for Russell, but that's just, I don't find that personally acceptable. When it comes to a woman actually shaking her ass, like, if a man like ass, then he probably will be drawn in some way to it. Self-control is whether or not you stay the gaze, or I don't know, get stuck lusting over something like that. But I mean,
so sorry if I cut you off. I need to work on that. I will soon. But I saw this video of this man, because I watch a lot of videos on this type of stuff, and he basically said, it was a Muslim guy, and he said that he was trying to get a woman. She was like Saudi Arabian, I think, and Middle Eastern, and he was telling her, like, you need to wear a hijab, and she was like, well, I never had one on, blah blah blah. And then basically he said they got into talking about women who show their body parts and are not modest, and he was like, if I saw a woman to my left standing far out there at the beach, or I guess not at the beach, but just standing far out there in a bikini, I am going to turn this way. He said, because some book, and I don't know if it was the Quran or whichever one, but he said some book tells him to lower his gaze. And then he said, well, I don't want that in my face. And he said, because he's transformed, and the reason why he doesn't want that in his face is because it's temptation. So he's going to lower his gaze and turn away. It's not that it's repulsive to him. He just doesn't want to see that in his face. And so I thought that was interesting. Is that kind of where your stance is on it, or do you have a different stance?
Yeah, I mean, to me, more so it's like just not being around it, and also especially because married women are out there doing that shit. Like, that's a quicker, if you recognize that somebody's married and they doing all that, that's a quicker turnaround than anything else, because like I don't even want to briefly see that shit because she belongs to somebody else. So, but I forgot the other element of the question.
Well, it's okay. I don't want to spend too much time on the rump, but here's one that I'm so excited to get into, because this is one that we never finished. Is there a such thing as a modern man, sir? And I made sure to put this on the list because we got into like a heated, hot topic debate on this. First, we were having a conversation. Then it turned into a debate. And I'm like, he's like, no, there's no such thing as a modern man. Because I got pissed off because I'm like, there's a such thing as a modern woman. How the heck is there no such thing as a modern man? And then I'm like, double standards. But then I'm like, you know what? Really, let's move past double standards, because like it really doesn't even matter in this situation. I feel like there's a such thing as a modern man. And he was like, well, explain. So I started explaining, and then I cut the conversation off because I was like, let's save this for my video. And I actually needed to do a little bit of research. He just had a okay. Anyways, so basically what I said was there is a such thing as a modern man. So let's just get into what a modern woman is. Go on, because you know better than I do.
Well, a modern woman in Western society is a woman who is independent, don't need no man. She is perfectly willing to dress provocatively. She is disgusted and repulsed by the idea of submission or being under a man's authority. She, I guess, is content to live her life single.
I mean, but let's just be real, because like most of women today are modern women. Yep. Because that's the society that they were brought up in. So is it really their fault? And then let's just talk about the Black community in particular here, because me as a Black woman, you as a Black man, I grew up with my father for half my life. So whatever happened after my father, was out of my life, is that really my fault that I didn't have? I mean, and he's so big on women accountability. Let me tell you, I take accountability, like I do. But I'm just saying, if you really look at all the facts, like most households, and there are some Black families that have 2-parent households, praise yeah. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the ones that don't have their father in the household, because we know that fathers are important. And we also know that the government wants to take fathers out the home. So with society today, is it really the woman's fault? Because I see all these men like, oh, it's so hard for me to find a woman. It's so hard for me to find a non-modern woman, or someone who's going to submit to me, and someone who's going to help me elevate myself and recognize that I'm the king, and help me be who I'm supposed to be. Is it really the woman's fault, or does it really start with the man? And that's all I'm saying. There is a such thing as a modern man. I totally went off topic. The modern man is somebody who goes around and maybe I just made this term up. I don't know, but it's not less credible. You know what I'm saying? Like, the modern man is someone, I feel, who goes around just doing it to everybody, and
a whoremonger.
Yeah, and not wanting to settle down, and going from one woman to the next, changing the women, like changing their natural desire to serve their husbands or serve the man. And like, I know it happened to me. I used to be like, and I'm gonna take it back. The first guy that I fell in love with, I was like willing, bro. If he jumped off a bridge, I was jumping off that bridge with him. I would do anything. Like, the love was so real. The first love that you ever had, I was crying. Like, if I didn't look good enough for him, or like anything that he was like, the love was real, y'all. Anything that he wanted me to do, I was doing it. He hurt me so bad so many times, over and 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 over again. I was just like, F it. I don't even care no more. And then that started changing me on the inside. I'm like, you want me to do what? You want me to clean for you? And then it started turning me like,
rebellious.
Yeah. So is it like, I feel like it's unfair for men to say women this and women that, when really it starts with the man. We need a change in the men. I mean, yeah, there are good men out there and there are good women out there, but y'all women this and women that and women, it's all your fault that you're like this. I don't agree with that.
So there are consequences to negative actions, and men definitely, men who are not stable and mature and biblical and traditional can really mess up a woman who is innocent. I'm trying to find, I feel like it's other words I could use, but a woman who starts off innocent can certainly get messed up by a man who is not innocent or who doesn't have the right intentions.
Heavily affected. Changed.
Yeah. That's why it's unfortunate that fathers are not more involved, because a father is more able to sniff out a fuck nigga than a woman is, because then that's part of her being under her father's authority and submission, because the father is going to veto and be like, nah, not him. Nope. She might be into him. She might like him, be attracted to him, think he likes the way he treats her or whatever. But the father is looking deeper into it. He's not just looking at how she feel right now. He's looking at, is this man committed for the long term? Is he going to take care of my daughter? Is he going to raise the children with her? Is he really going to be around, or is this a little quick hit fix out the door? And unfortunately, women being emotional, they typically, a lot of times they're not prepared to be able to make that determination, whereas a father can. So it's men and women. Like, first of all, it starts with the father not being in the home, which, you know, we can blame that on whatever we want to blame it on, but that's the first problem right there. The father not being around, that's the first problem, because he could stop that shit from happening.
If he's a good man, if he knows what he's doing.
A good man,
some fathers don't have any clue.
Right, that's true.
But the presence is still, still better to have the presence there than not to have the presence at all.
Every layer of protection that a woman needs starts with a man. Like, so if the man ain't shit, it's going to be harder for the woman to become something or become a good wife, or be, you know, like if a man ain't shit, she's not really protected. So it starts there. A woman that is not raised with her father around, is that for you? Because I don't want none of that.
It's definitely for me.
Okay, that's cool.
Thank you.
But a woman who's not raised with her father around is much more likely to become a modern woman than a traditional woman, because what example does she have of what a traditional woman looks like if she doesn't see a traditional biblical marriage between mother and father if the father's not around.
Which is very interesting because, like, I saw both sides. I saw, like, I saw, okay, so my stepmom, she did cook for my dad. She had dinner ready for him every day, 5 o'clock when he came home from work. It was on the table, ready. She made us set the table and everything, and he was served first, okay, before anybody. He got his plate first because he went to work and he worked all day. And so, like, I understand that, but she also, like, I hate to say these words, but she, like,
witchcraft and rebellion.
No, she bitched and complained. So, like, every fucking day about something. So even though she did like that portion, she bitched and complained, and, like, some of that rubbed off on me. Like, I didn't know. Like, it took me a while to realize that, damn, I'm bitching and complaining. Like, and I don't want to, like, drive my husband away. Like, I saw her drive my father away. So, like, I had to, like, look into myself. Like, even though she had certain good qualities, there were some that a man is not going to, like, it's a deal breaker. Like, even though I'm eating good, I'm not finna eat good and listen to you irritate me to death while I'm trying to take a bite of my rice. Like, I don't know if it makes sense, but it, like, does. I, like, that stuff rubs off on kids, and some people, like, don't see the effects of it until, like, you're, like, way in your, like, 35 or something, and you're like, why am I like this? Mm-hmm. And it's because you don't know what a functional relationship looks like, and so you have to change that within yourself. Like, that's where accountability comes in. You could be like, oh, I'm like this because I saw my mom do this my whole life and it rubbed off on me. No, that's when you break curses and break chains, and you have to be like, okay, I need to better myself, better my relationship, fix me. I'm broken on the inside, fix me for me, you know? Mm-hmm. So
I'm gonna add another element to modern women. Modern women have been given and embraced the freedom to be sexually promiscuous, and they think because they've been told by feminism that there are no consequences to that they can sleep with as many dudes as they want to, have no strings attached relations, and that, you know, they're just free. They don't have to be tied down to a man. They just have sex with this dude, sex with that dude.
I mean, modern men too.
Yeah, men do that. The effects on men and women is totally different, though.
No, anybody can get AIDS. Anybody can get STDs. Talking about AIDS. No, that's what happens when you sleep around. But I'm not talking about AIDS, though. But you're talking about modern women sleeping around with anybody and thinking that there's no effect. It's not just modern women. It's modern men, and men in general sleeping around with no protection and thinking that there's no effect. There's men out there spreading diseases to women, and women out there spreading diseases to men. I love you. I'm gonna take it off of the diseases, because I am not talking about diseases, even though that is clearly an effect of what's happening. I do not advocate whoremongering, and that's men just sleeping with whoever, whenever, for whatever. What I'm talking about is, biblically speaking, a woman is designed to be with one man. A man, biblically speaking, can be with more than one woman. So the effect on a man and on a woman is not the same. A woman that slept with 50 people is totally different than a man that slept with 50 people. Now, if he's a whoremonger, he's going to suffer the consequences of being a whoremonger. I don't know if I would want to be with a man who's been with 50 people and slept with them unprotected.
I ain't even talking about unprotected. Let's assume everybody protected. I'm not worried about that aspect. We can rule out. Let's say everybody wearing condoms. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the spiritual effects and the changes to somebody's personality. Because women are not designed to be with more than one man, they are in a way getting fractured and broken every single time. Is this man, and then that man, and then this man, and then that man, and then this man. And they think that because they've been given the freedom by feminism, and then also the social stigma has kind of been lowered. It's not as much of a stigma socially. They think that it's totally fine and they can live with the consequences of that, and that they're strong and all this other stuff. But even if we skip over the fact that it changes them in a negative way, right? As far as their ability to attach, as far as their ability to be with one man and submit and be faithful. If we leave that part out, they continuously deny or get angry about or act oblivious about the fact that a man does not want to be with a promiscuous woman. He might sleep with her, but a man don't want to marry her, and they think they can just do whatever. They think they can have the whole phase, and when they decide to settle down, somebody gonna be running to wife them up, and they don't get the fact that men actually care about that. He cares about if a woman has been promiscuous, how many people she been with. He actually cares because he's gonna weigh the cost and be like, nah, I'm not choosing that one. And they don't like to, they have, like, you could look at all these different podcasts and YouTube channels and shows and all this shit, whether it's Fresh and Fit, Just Pearly Things, it don't matter who it is. The people that put multiple women on the panel, it's another one called Whatever, put multiple women on the panel and talk to them about relationships and men and women and having sex and all this other stuff. They just refuse to accept the fact that if a woman has been with a bunch of dudes are way less likely to actually choose her for a wife. So there is consequences. If her end goal is to get married and have a family or settle down or be a one-man woman, she lowers her chances every time she sleep with another dude. And they feel like that's not fair. That shouldn't be like that. But you ain't gonna change the men mind. The men men want to, for the most part, a good, solid, stable, mature, traditional, biblical man. He wants a woman who is pure. And we can be honest and realize that it ain't like a whole bunch of women out here as virgins. The man gonna choose the best option for him. So if he got a choice, and let's say the level of attractiveness is the same, you got two women who are equally attractive. One of them been with 115 dudes. One of them been with 6. Who you think he gonna choose? If the personality is similar, we could and I would venture to say it's not the one who been with 115 dudes. I highly
like
doubt.
Both. I can't just choose them both.
He could, but I'm just being real. Like, he gonna be like, I want her. I'm not gonna pick that one, because there's
that's what makes. I'm not even gonna.
That's
lie.
what makes women upset. But
no,
it's
not what makes women upset. It's what makes women compete against each other and be competition. I mean, I know it's a competitive world, but like that's when like you turn your sisters, like women who are supposed to support each other and lift each other up. And I know this is a totally different conversation for a totally different day, so I'm not even gonna get too much into this. But like that's when like we're supposed to support each other and lift each other up, and like now we over here fighting over some guy.
When it comes to a man, but I'm gonna say, like, the unfortunate thing is that women tend to compete for men that neither one of them can have. And what I mean is, if there's a dude who doesn't want to settle down, doesn't want to be with a particular woman for the long term, because so many women desire him, many women compete for him. But what are they competing for? They're just competing for time and sex. They're not competing for a relationship with him, because it's clear by the way he deals with women that he don't want to settle down with a woman.
Yeah, and I've experienced that.
But when it comes to a man that actually does want to settle down, that does want to get married, that does want a woman long term,
and I've experienced that,
women have a tendency, women who can't compete have a tendency not to compete. Meaning, if he has options and he's trying to actually pick a wife, like, women don't like the fact that he's like, well, I want my woman submissive. I want her agreeable. I want her feminine. I want her fit. I want all these things I want her to not to have been with a whole bunch of dudes. And all this, like, they don't like that. Then now his standards are unfair. Well, he should accept me the way I am. No, this is a buyer's market. Okay. He gets to choose what he wants.
So I'm going to wrap this up because it is getting quite long. But I do want to have one more question, and I think that you already pretty much answered it. But what type of expectations do real men, and I mean like real, not like real like he's alive, but
men that actually want to settle down.
Yes, like a real man that lives in his masculinity and wants to provide for a woman. What do they have? What type of expectations do real men, I'm talking about you because I feel like you are a real man, have for real submissive women, and what qualities do they look for? Now, we already know that you said you look for submissiveness and femininity and whatever else you said. Could you please elaborate?
All right, so I'm gonna give ones that I'd actually just came up with in my head on the spot that are a reiteration of something I already said. Um, the alliteration sounds so good: sweet, submissive, and supportive. That's what we want. Kevin Samuels put it as fit, feminine, and friendly. So when you consider all these elements, we want a woman that we're attracted to, that's in good shape, depending on what we like. Some men like them thicker, some like them slimmer, whatever. But we want a woman that's in the type of shape that we want. Like, so she looks good, she got a nice body, her personality is sweet, she's cooperative and supportive, and she submits to her man. She's going to follow. She's not trying to take the lead role. She realized, hey, my role is to follow this man. So a woman that understands that, that's coming in with that in mind, a woman that who's not finna sit here and argue, a woman that's teachable. She has a teachable spirit. She wants to learn. She realized, okay, this is the man I chose to be my head and my king. So I'm going to follow him. He can teach me. I'm not going to argue with him. I'm not going to fight with him, be combative all the time. A woman that brings peace to a man's life.
I love peace.
Uplifts him and helps make him better. Gives him the encouragement and the support that will make him want to move mountains in order to provide for and protect his woman.
That was such a beautiful response. I just have one thing to add, because like I need a little bit more clarification. Another question came to my mind that's not on my agenda, but because that was my last question, but here I am asking one more. So I know that you said that a woman should her agenda should be to lift up her husband and be on his agenda. Mm-hmm. Does that mean that you think that she needs to abandon her dreams? Like, do her dreams and aspirations not matter? Is that part of being independent? Or should she drop everything that she's ever believed in and just be like, my goal is my husband? Because like me, for example, I still do, I like to build, and I like to do like arts and crafts, not witchcraft. I mean, like, I'm just talking like gluing shit together. But I like to do like arts and crafts and like hot glue gun stuff back together and stuff, and put rhinestones on stuff and make it look pretty. And I like landscaping and stuff and planting flowers. Are you telling me like that I should abandon those things and just focus on whatever the man's dreams and aspirations are, and forget who I am on the inside? Is that what you're saying? Or?
So I'm gonna start in Genesis. To the woman, your desire shall be unto your husband, and he shall rule over thee. And then I'm gonna add to that, not adding to the word, but I should probably rephrase that differently. So not adding to the word, but I guess bringing like my mindset, point of view, whatever you want to call it. So her ultimate goal, right? If the man is in charge, the man has a purpose in life. Yah calls the man to do X, Y, Z. So when he brings a woman on, he needs to choose a woman that's going to support his goal and his purpose. And her particular skills, her ability to listen, her willingness to be on board with it is going to help him fulfill his mission in life. And him and his entire family is meant to press for his mission, even as he passes it down to his seed. When it comes to her interests, her passions, her personality, what she like, what she's good at, she shouldn't abandon all the things that make her hurt. But if a man is going to use wisdom, he's going to incorporate the things that she's good at and that she likes in order to fulfill his mission and do it with the whole family. So it's not like she's abandoning herself. But when it comes to dreams, goals, and aspirations, the goal is what the man goal is. Now, if she has some particular goal that will fit within the framework of his goal, then that's something they should talk about. And I think, I think a wise husband, like I said, considers all this up front, but also because a Proverbs 31 woman is not lazy. She's about, she's about the business of her man's household. That means she's active in doing things. So like, I believe a man would really kind of get to know his woman. And if he's trying to build a family empire, build a tribe, then he's going to incorporate the things that she wants to do. He's going to help her either incorporate her skills in his business or help her create a business for her and the daughters. Like, you know, because it could be something more female centric that, you know, a man doesn't want to do. But that should be a direct conversation. Like, coming in, that should be talked about. She should make it clear, this is what, you know, this is what I want. This is what I had in mind for my life. And he'd be like, well, this is the direction I'm going in. And right off the bat, you can decide, well, he's going this way and I'm going that way. Do I want to change course and go his way and then find a way to bring my skills to what he has going on? Or this is probably not the one for me because we are not going in the same direction. I don't want to go in that direction. That way you can eliminate all the trouble that will come from a woman being like, well, you made me abandon my goals and my dreams and stuff. I don't have nothing, like, unless it's something that's like totally off base or totally incompatible with what I plan to do with my life. I'm not against any goals that she has or passions. Like, I feel like me getting to know her more and more, it's like, okay, she really good at this. She really good at that. I see that she enjoyed doing this. All right, how can we use this in a way that's productive and constructive for our entire family?
Thank you. I think that's going to conclude our interview. Well, you definitely gave a lot to think about. So thank you for that. Before I go, I would just like to point out that this is ghost pepper salt. This is by no way sponsored.
It's not sponsored. We understand
This
the imagery
is so,
is not.
oh yeah,
the
so
imagery-
yeah, the imagery is not good.
like the
I mean,
imagery.
but it is a ghost pepper. It's called ghost pepper. But like the imagery isn't good. We might want to rip this off. He's mad.
We did last time.
Oh yeah.
Well, we didn't have the salt. We had one of the hot sauces.
We
but-
got it from Pepper Palace.
And this is the best salt.
It's the best seasoning that I think we've ever had in our
Ever.
life. We put it on chicken and grill it. We put it on asparagus. He put it on his noodles when he make it.
Bro,
I
you
put it on broccoli.
You can put it on anything. bro.
Anything. It's so
And you
good.
don't
We
even need
take
that
it on
much.
vacation. We take it out the house to the parks. We haven't been yet, but when we do, we're taking this. It's almost gone. We
We
only
took it
had
to
it
the
for like,
beach when we
oh
brought
yeah,
food to
yeah,
the
yeah,
beach.
yeah. We've only had it for like what, 3 weeks, and it's almost gone. It's quite expensive though. It's $16.99 for a
It's
seasoning.
worth the price.
But it really is good. We're gonna get it.
Fine.
We're gonna get another one. But anyways, thanks for watching. I know this video was quite long, but it was a lot of information, and I've been waiting to interview this man. He is awesome, and his skin is just glowing. By the way, he has great skin. Him right here. My skin, ugh. His skin, top tier. Okay.
If you made it to the end, you a real one.
Yeah, if you did make it to the end, you're a real one. And thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. I just reached 100 subscribers. I remember back in the day I only had 12. So praise Yah. I must be doing something right. So winning. If you like this video, as always, like and subscribe. Become my bestest friend.
Tell us what you think in the comment section. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you always get alerted when my beautiful Ashaya here drops a new video.
Bye.